Smackdown was awesome. Let's get into it. The show kicked off with a promo featuring Jacob Fatu and the Usos. And the main interesting points or things that came from this promo was Jacob Fatu saying he will, quote, burn the whole family tree down. And he also told the Usos not to get involved in the match or there will be consequences, basically. This was a very interesting promo, and I think that line, I will burn this family tree down, is going to come into play. And Roman is not going to be happy about it. I'll be very interested to see if the Usos do get involved and the potential consequences. And yeah, maybe they'll be the reason Roman ends up retaining. I'm not exactly sure. And I'm starting to do hot takes for a bunch of, for these recaps now. Somebody said, bring in Zilla Fatu for some insurance. I went into depth with this in my Backlash predictions video, so I'm not going to go too deep into it here. I do think there's definitely a chance that this happens. I would be very interested to see who he sides with, but I don't think it's going to happen here. Next, we had a match between Tala Tonga and Damian Priest, and in a dirty way, Tala Tonga ended up picking up the win, which I guess it was the right choice. I mean, it's not like Damian Priest lost to a nobody, and now the MFTs seem to be gunning after the tag team titles. The hot take for this one was, I told you when I see something I don't miss, and with Tala Tonga I won't miss, because Tala will be the future monster of WWE and will be the next great big man of WWE. I don't know about the next great big man, but I think he could definitely be a really solid big man. Next, we had a match between Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton, the champion for the Women's United States Championship. A really, really solid match. And even with Julia trying to come in and help Kiana win the title, Tiffany ended up retaining. Obviously the right choice. Shouldn't be losing it in her first defense. And the hot take for this one was, this was a good match. I think Kiana James should be for the next U.S. champion. And honestly, I could see that happening. I think it's going to be either Kiana James or Blake Monroe. But I see Tiffany holding this for a long time. Probably until SummerSlam. So she can be... I don't know if they'll want to free her up so she can be in a main event in our home state of Minnesota. But I think she'll probably hold it till there. And end up losing it to someone. Danhausen is holding a... You can sign up to be his tag partner at Backlashhausen, and nobody signed up, and for some reason he needs your social security number for you to sign up to be his partner, and I think that says net worth. I'm not exactly sure. This was a hilarious segment though. Danhausen was showed his sexy reflection, and that ended up somehow, I don't remember how, leading to Danhausen thinking he could clone himself to be his own partner at Backlashhausen. And this segment was hilarious. He ripped out one of his own teeth, put it in like a beaker or something, drank a potion, nearly exploded himself, and I'm now realizing why is that tube leading into a microwave? Is it leading into the microwave? I can't tell. But this was an awesome segment. He was using like a 1950s looking computer. This was hilarious, but the machine ended up not working. He experienced some technical difficulties, so it's looking like we will not be getting a Danhausen clone at Backlash. I still think it's going to be Jelly Roll. We had a match between Ricky Saints and QB4 Zack Ryder, aka Matt Cardona. Don't know why I said Zack Ryder there. Ricky Saints ended up picking up the win, which I think was a good idea after him taking a loss last week. Yeah, he lost to Cody Rhodes, but still, it's good to get him a win. And somebody says, so they brought back Matt just to be a stepping stone, much like his first run as Zack Ryder. He lost to a main eventer in Ricky Saints, and I don't think anybody expected him to be like a world champion when he returned, and if you did, quite frankly, that's not very smart of you. maybe United States champion, but I don't. He's really good at this. I think he's doing just fine in his role. Gunther is apparently a SmackDown superstar now. Don't know where that came from. Didn't know his Raw contract expired. But I guess he's just on SmackDown now. So sure, whatever, cool. I guess. This basically confirmed that the favor from Paul Heyman was a title match for Gunther against Cody Rhodes. This person says, I don't think was ready to retire. I didn't think Cody was ready to retire yet. New undisputed champion incoming. I don't know who they're going to have win here, honestly. They officially announced it's going to be a match at Clash in Italy. They didn't officially confirm the match, but it's basically confirmed. But I don't know who's going to win this, because you don't want to end Gunther's undefeated streak, or at least I don't think they do. They do. And they love Cody Rhodes. And also, it seems like they just kind of forgot Randy Orton exists. And if Gunther wins, then what is Randy going to do? We would just never pay off the storyline with Cody, because the reason that Randy's going after Cody isn't because of specifically a dislike of Cody. It's because he needs number 15. So would he start going after Gunther then? And are we just not going to pay off the Cody versus Randy storyline? There's so many question marks. And honestly, I don't want Gunther to win, because they need to pay off that storyline. I need to see the end to that storyline. You can't take Pat McAfee out of the equation, punk Cody, and then not pay off the storyline. We had a promo with Brie Bella and Paige, and they were shortly interrupted by Fatal Influence, and they demanded a shot at the titles. I love what they are doing with Fatal Influence, and I think they honestly should win the tag titles. They should be the next women's tag team champions. They are getting pushed to the frickin' moon, and they absolutely deserve the tag titles. And then Nia and Lash came out, and it ended in a fight, and yeah. Like I just said, Fatal Influence should be the next tag champions. Free up Paige to go after other stuff, and also give Fatal Influence even more momentum than they already have. This person said maybe you should rehire Kairi and have her team with Io or Asuka and actually have an awesome tag team division instead of these nothing matches. Cool to look at, but meaningless. I cannot agree with anything you said. Okay, never mind. I can agree that they should rehire Kairi, but other than that, I do not agree with anything this person said, respectfully. Are you telling me this isn't an awesome tag team division? What are we talking about? We have the Bella Twins, well, temporarily Brie and Paige. We have Fatal Influence now. We have the Irresistible Forces. We have Charlexa. There is so many main event huge names in this tag division. What do you mean nothing matches? This is the best, possibly, that the women's tag team division has ever been in. There was then a match between Fatal Influence against the team of Charlexa and Rhea Ripley. And Fatal Influence ended up picking up the win. JC Jane pinning Alexa frickin' Bliss 3 weeks after debuting, or 2 weeks after debuting. That is insane. Was it a dirty win? Yes, but a win over Alexa Bliss is a win, especially 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever into your main roster run. She won with the help of Jade Cargill and her baddies Meechin and B-Fab, and they started seemingly going after Rhea Ripley again, but also going after Charlotte and Alexa. I really hope that they are continuing this Rhea versus Jade feud, because their WrestleMania match was incredible. Imagine if they're given more time and they're only going to have more chemistry. I feel like they could put on an absolute banger. Super happy for Fatal Influence. This is one of the biggest, fastest pushes I have ever seen The hot take for this one was, yay, look everybody, they're revisiting the Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill feud. I can't wait. And look, now we're going to get Rhea, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss versus Jade Cargill and the two others. Yeah. Facepalm emoji. What is wrong with that? Who is complaining about that? That is going to be awesome. You might say, oh, it's predictable. Being predictable isn't always bad. Next, let's talk about one of the greatest segments I have ever seen. I went into this segment depressed, emo, just not feeling myself. I felt like a shell of my former self without just the presence and aura and energy that the beloved Gingerbread Man brought to this brand of Smackdown in this thing that we call wrestling. An absolute legend, was at WrestleMania 1, seeing Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, was there with Stone Cold in the front row wearing an Austin 316 shirt, was there with John Cena fully decked out in the Chain Gang merch, and Trick Williams, praise to you, bro. I mean, he had an entire song prepped out for the beloved dead Gingerbread Man. He even spent his own money to get all this set up, and also went the extra mile to get a choir to sing with him and just make this moment really special for the Gingerbread Man who was brutally murdered on SmackDown by that piece of crap, Sami Zayn. And he went to have a moment of silence for the Gingerbread Man out of pure just respect. And Sami Zayn had the audacity, the gall, the disrespectfulness, the ego to interrupt the moment of silence. That is so messed up. You don't fire shots at a dead man who can't fire back. Shame on you, Sami Zayn. At least have the common human decency, the heart, the empathy, the sympathy to wait till the moment of silence is done. But fans, ladies, gentlemen, dogs, cats, fish, every other species of animal all over the world rejoice because the Gingerbread Man is alive! He rose up from that coffin, Undertaker style, staring down Sami Zayn. I had goosebumps. This was incredible. Final boss style, bloodline rules, goosebumps. And he came out to make the save. Thank you. It's an absolute miracle that he is alive after that brutal attack from Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn should be ashamed of himself. And we better get a triple threat match between the water bottles, Gingerbread Man, and Sami Zayn. Hell, make it a handicap match. Water bottles and Gingerbread Man against Sami Zayn. People are hating on this segment so much. This was amazing. I do not know what you are complaining about. Have a sense of humor, bro. If you have even the slightest, most basic sense of humor, you would have found this hilarious. They had photos of Gingy's life, and it was a truly beautiful thing. I mean, look at the baby Gingerbread Man with his parents. It is incredible. It's amazing. It's amazing to see him at home, growing up in his gingerbread house, going to prom with a girl. I don't know why it's a human, but I mean, you go, Gingerbread Man. It was absolutely beautiful. He got to have a picnic in Paris by the Eiffel Tower. Just absolutely amazing. Now, I know some people might be upset. It was all AI. It's all fake. It's not real. Fake news. A big hoax. Dude, shut up. Honestly, it's not like they're using it for like a main event of WrestleMania video package. And if the AI is good, who cares? The hot take for this one was, quote, "You may think this is an exaggeration, but I genuinely believe SmackDown is currently the worst it's been since the summer of 2019. Consistently bad shows week after week." What are you talking about, bro? Here pictured, you have the Gingerbread Man reacting to CM Punk's return. What is wrong with the Gingerbread Man? It is genuinely a hilarious storyline. Have some humor. Danhausen's also hilarious segment. Have some humor. It's not like it took up the entire show. The funeral was 15 minutes. That Danhausen segment was like 2 or 1. The Damien versus Tala match. What is wrong with that match? It is a great match between two behemoths of men. Ricky Saints versus Matt Cardona. What was wrong with that match? It was a good match. I just cannot agree with this whatsoever. Even though I wasn't there to see SmackDown 2019, just based off of what I've heard, there's no way that this can be worse. It's just not possible. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this episode of SmackDown, anything that happened. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want, and